Crank that sound or grab your earbuds. It's time for Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.
Hope for a family name to pardon a soul's disease, and no one could hold a rover to blame who exits to find his peace. Prayers for love to bind e'er since the broken bough, born for a life you've waited to find, driven to trail it now, gone to chase your roots in your red wing boots with a long wool coat and suspenders. I won't waste your time trying to change your mind, but the ground's so cold in December. Now led by the stars at night, destined to find Freetown, north by a compass, trembling inside, passed from your daddy down, gone to chase your roots in your red wing boots with the long wool coat and suspenders. I won't waste your time trying to change your mind, but the ground's so cold in December. Oh, the ground's so cold in December.
Artist Direct on FM 100.5. Joshua Vorvick is our guest in studio this morning. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you.
So let's talk logistics here.
Yes.
The studio is occupied by Joshua and Cole.
Yep.
And Tim. And Jenny is missing. Jenny was going to be here with us this morning because the vertical.
She said she was.
The vertical bias is on the docket tonight for Java John's Coffee House.
True story.
But it will be minus the shorter end of the vertical bias.
Just the vertical, no bias. Yeah.
So you were playing a solo show tonight at Java John's. Jenny's not going to be able to play with you because she's been told to rest her voice for a week.
Yes. Well, I think she's probably been told that for a long time, but finally someone with enough authority to enforce that has stepped into the picture.
So
hi, Jenny.
So it's just you tonight. Jenny will be in the house, but we'll hear Josh and
yes.
Joshua will be, if you play that and other things from the collection that comes from. I'm sure.
I'm going to play that one for about 45 minutes,
whole first set,
and then theme and variation till about 11:30, and it's kind of a performance piece. It's sort of it's music of attrition, really. If you want to find out who's willing to really stick it out to the end to find out will he continue, and that's really my fan base. That's what I'm going for.
Tell me about the nostalgic song about a few months ago that we just heard. Is that a song of yours?
The song I just played.
Yeah, the one you just played. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's one. That's a fairly new one for me. I wrote it the end of this last year. It's a tribute to my father who recently passed, and so it's kind of a poetic and specific at the same time sort of a collection of my own memories and thoughts about that, which hopefully there's a thread there that people can connect to who have different fathers, but that one's about mine.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And therapy and songwriting.
Absolutely, yeah. It's expression and emotion and just getting things out in a way that sometimes are not as easy to talk about, but somehow you put a tune behind it, and it's like, yeah, okay, no problem.
There it is.
So people who have been to Java John's recently for open mic night have had a chance to meet you and,
Yes.
and hear from you. I confess I have not been to an open mic night at Java John's for quite some time.
I absolve you.
Yeah. And you get a chance to play at open mic night from time to time?
Yeah, I'll start the night with a couple songs, and probably end with a song or two, and then just depending on the flow of the night and the amount of people, I may do something in between just to either fill time or maybe cleanse the palate between a couple piano players, maybe just to help the listener's ear.
I take it you've played a few open mic nights prior to arriving in Decorah 18 months ago.
Yeah, I kind of got started with that last probably three maybe to 4 years. We were in St. Louis and spending time getting the kind of the songwriting thing going, which hasn't been something I've done for very long. It's probably only really in earnest for the last 4 or 5 years. So there were some great spots there where I was able to get out and try out music and find out if I should keep doing it or not, get some feedback.
So living all those years without taking advantage of what obviously is a talent that was hidden within, where in your life did you find that, hey, wait a second, I've got some songs that need to come out, and I need to share them with people?
Yeah, I recall I was probably in my late teens when I first got the idea that I wanted to do it and started trying, and I think found out that it was very difficult for whatever reason, and also had a lot of other things going on, so I kind of stuck with what I knew, which was just being a singer and not as much of a creative. And then finally, a lot later in life, I had some conversations and read some material and got to a point where I kind of figured out I was needing to do it. It wasn't something that was going away, and I needed to take the time to really, see what I could do. And here we are.
So what was the first song that opened the door?
Interestingly enough, there was a song I don't play. I should probably bring back, but there's a song that I wrote. The one that kicked it off was the one that kind of came out. That was sort of I'm not going to do this. I'm kind of done. I'm kind of resigned that this isn't going to be something I'm doing. And here's a song that kind of reflects that in a way. And then I played it for a couple people, and they said, "Hey, why don't we record that? Why don't we? Hey, why don't you do a couple more, and then we'll make an EP or stuff like that." And so it's kind of hard to have a swan song when people use it as material for here. Let's do something else.
So it's more like a rise of a phoenix than a swan song.
I suppose, yeah.
From the ashes,
so yeah,
you shall rise.
Yeah, but that's one that I've thought recently about pulling out and finding out if it's solid enough to stand on its own. Although it'll always have a special place in terms of its step in this process.
So you were able to write some things while you and your wife were living in St. Louis.
Yes.
And now that you've been in Decorah for a year and a half, change of venue, has that had any effect on your inspiration or what you've been able to put together?
I would say not really, other than change is can be stressful and involves a lot of new things, and so it for a while slowed things down. But I've managed to catch up, and feel like I'm on a good trajectory, and pretty much on average doing what I was doing before we moved. So it's good.
Joshua Vorvick is our guest on Artist Direct. He'll be at Java John's Coffee House in downtown Decorah tonight. You will start playing tonight around?
It's set for 8:00. 8 o'clock. It says 8 to 10. We may make it to 10. There's also maybe a little surprise guest who might show up and make people laugh for 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
So if that's something that is interesting to
Someone-
somebody, then come on over, maybe around 9 o'clock.
Someone with a dry erase board? Or we're talking about somebody else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I'm sure he's open to new things. No props that I'm
Jenny
aware
will
of.
be armed with her dry erase board for the next week.
Oh.
while she's resting her voice. So Cole, you and Jenny yesterday were talking about music that inspired you
Yeah.
when you were younger. And Josh, I know you lived in St. Louis. I don't know if that's where you grew up or not.
No, I grew up in Northeast Oregon.
Oh,
wow.
And lived there until I came to school in Iowa, and then lived in St. Louis, and now back in Iowa. So I still haven't. I've still lived the longest in Oregon, but and I came pretty close to meeting that in Missouri, and probably will do that now in Iowa. I hope.
Well, once people get sucked into the vortex here, they find their way back one way or another.
Okay.
Absolutely right. So what were the things that spoke to you when you were in your formative years, musically speaking?
I listened when I was young, before I was really playing. I attached a lot to kind of folk sounding stuff and a lot of harmony. David Gates, I think, played more of a part probably in that than I should admit. But Bread albums were big.
It's okay to be a Bread fan.
Good.
Because there's a lot more to the Bread catalog than just If and the slow stuff.
True. Yeah.
They were a rock band when they first came around.
Yeah. No, and there's some of that stuff is pretty rocking. I learned a David Gates song in this last year that had been one that I'd really loved as a kid, and when I was learning to play the guitar, it was past my skills, and so in my head I told myself, well, you can't play that. That's not it's not within your ability. And I was thinking about it again recently, and I went, you know what, you've gotten better since then. Maybe you could play it. So I learned a David Gates song that I now enjoy on behind closed doors.
So playing with other people, you said you were a singer before writing. Were you in bands?
I was in an octet for about 5 years in St. Louis. That's why I moved up there, and we were an SAATTBB group that sang original music and original arrangements by this guy named Charlie Meade, who was a former band leader and music theory guy out in the West and that kind of stuff. So I was used to touring with that, and mostly kind of a jazz, quasi-jazz based music. But in terms of with musicians, there was the occasional stint for a special occasion, different things, but never full band, never a lot of energy or opportunity in that respect.
But playing with you moved to Decorah and you met Jenny Grouse. Have you and Jenny played together a few times yet?
We have. We've sung a couple times at the open mic. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, I know we've done at least one song. We've got a couple that we've been working up. So we have some stuff that we're going to be doing together down the line.
Yeah, tonight was the first scheduled gig for the Vertical Bias.
Yes.
The Vertical Bias postponed.
Yes.
Vertical No Bias.
We've already
tonight.
Yes, they hit the first bump in the road, which is it's a
First show,
It's fairly
half
significant,
canceled.
I would say.
Get it out of the way. Yeah, it's a pretty big one, but
Yeah.
get it out of the way now. But you and Jenny planned. So you met somebody that you got some chemistry with that you're looking forward to doing.
Yeah,
some shows
that
with.
works very vocally. That's good. I've also played. Some of you may know Craig Holtgren, who's also kind of new back to the area cellist. We've played some songs together. That's been real nice. The song that I just played is a shorter version of that song. The instrumental breaks will be filled in at the next open mic by a guy by the name of Eric Sessions, who is a real up-and-comer. I feel like see some nice stuff from him around here. And actually, if you care to go to find me on Facebook, there's a version of that song with my brother playing some tasteful lead guitar parts, so you can check that out if you'd like.
Excellent. So if people want to find you on Facebook or find any of your music that you've recorded, what are they typing in on Facebook first of all?
Just my name, Joshua Vorvick. And
Vorvick.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of stuff out there, but I think we'll slowly build that catalog here.
Good people to work with and good people to play with around here.
A ton.
You're meeting some of the best ones. You mentioned a few already, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I've met a lot that I'd like to play with who, I mean, that's one thing that I've learned about Decorah is there's this kind of double-edged sword, which is on the one hand, there is a huge amount of talent and even openness to collaborating. But the problem is that they're all doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm biding my time until things open up. And I think for some people that could be, months, and for some people it could be years. But as far as I know, I'm not going anywhere. So I'll be ready for them when they come knocking.
It'll be worth the wait. Joshua Vorvick is our guest on Artist Direct. He'll be at Java John's tonight, 8 o'clock. There's a $5 cover tonight.
No,
there's no. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the $5.
$5 wine.
That's the $5 wine special. I said $5. I'm like, wait a second. $5 wine and $4 craft beers now on Friday nights at Java John's Coffee House. So something good to enjoy. The show is free. And,
it is,
and we can't wait to hear you tonight.
Great.
And again for the next open mic night, which is coming around. Which Wednesday of the month is it these days?
It is now the first Wednesday of the month. So
coming up,
April 5th, I believe that is.
Week and a half.
And those are at 7 for about 2 hours. And we love to have anybody and everybody come and be involved. We've had stuff that's more on the classical side, and we've had stuff that's on the punk rock side and folk side, and everything in between. It's really a place where we want to have people come and try things out. People who are seasoned veterans who just want to do something. People who are just getting started and need a place to go where if they only have 1 or 2 songs, they can do that, and just support each other in the community artistically, and encourage each other to continue to do more stuff.
Having a host that makes the performers comfortable and encouraging is half the battle for an open mic night. So
and we're looking for that person.
Thanks for being a part of that, and we're thrilled to have you in town, man. It's great to have you here in the studio with us. Joshua Vorvick, an Artist Direct, Java John's Coffee House in downtown Decorah tonight at 8 o'clock, and you and Jenny will be playing together.
When the doctor says
as
she
soon
can.
as she gets the approval.
Doctor's note.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Cole. Put him back into the special effects end of things there, and we'll get to hear him introduce the song we're about to hear.
All right, this is a song I actually started writing very shortly after we came to town, and it's called "Shine a Light."
Joshua Vorvick, it's Artist Direct on FM 100.5.
This is not my home. No, I don't belong. These are just 2 of the lies that I want to tear down. Prone to cut and run like any hired gun. Just do the job, grab the gold, get the hell out of town. But lately I've started to wonder if there's something better for me. Throw me a line and we'll make it. I've made the choice to believe. Show me the road and I'll take it. Just hold the light, shine a light for me. I was riding high, a bunker in the sky, when time folded over like water, it showed me a face. I looked into the swell, white caps and crushed velvet, incandescent tricks on my eyes. Still I had to give chase, and echoing out from the Nova, a choir was singing to me. Throw me a line and we'll make it. I've made the choice to believe. Show me the road and I'll take it. Just hold the light, shine a light for me. Oh, won't you shine? Oh, won't you shine? Lately I've started to wonder, ooh, yes, lately I've started to wonder if there's something better for me. Throw me a line, I've made the choice to believe. Yeah, show me the road and I'll take it. Just hold the light, shine a light for me. Oh, hold the light, shine a light, shine a light for me.
Thanks for listening to Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Tune in again next Friday for another Artist Direct, brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.